Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host SreeIyer. Joining me today is KarthikGopinath, a good friend of mine. You've seen him in the past on our channel, and we're going to discuss a very important event that took place in Tamil Nadu, especially in the Madurai bench of Madras High Court. And before that, let's welcome our guest of the evening, KarthikGopinath. Karthik, Namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel. How are you?
Vanakkam, sir. Very happy to be here again after a long while. I'm doing excellently well, thanks to the blessings of God and seniors like you.
Thank you so much, Karthik. You know, Karthik, any judgment, anybody is free to criticize the judgment, that the judgment had these lacunae, that it missed this, or something like that. But you cannot criticize the judge who wrote the judgment, especially on a personal level, especially casting aspersions on his ability to deliver judgment. This is a no-no. Nobody does it. It's not allowed anywhere in the world. Yet, some in India continue to persist to do this thing, try to push the envelope. And we have the law which is settled on this. If somebody casts aspersions on the judge, there has been some judgments in the past that tell you that this is not on, and that person gets censored. Sometimes it could be a harsh sentencing. Sometimes it might be just a slap on the wrist. So what happened now, and why all this method? Why is DMK resorting to this kind of stuff? Over to you.
So as you rightly pointed out, the independence of judiciary is very much essential for preserving the very values in a democracy. Independent judiciary is a very essential trait for which the judges should be above personalized attacks and scandalous comments. You can have criticism about judgments, which is welcome. Article 19 of the Constitution gives you the right. You can critique a judgment based on various aspects. But to say that a particular judge is biased, he carries a caste bias, or he is being nepotistic, or he has taken money, reduces the credibility of judiciary in front of the public. So as they say, justice must not just be served, it must seem to be served. For it to be seeming to be served to the public, people should have the belief in judiciary. By maligning the character of a judge, you take off that credibility from the justice delivery system, which is exactly what is happening in Justice GRSwaminathan's case, which is a larger plan by DMK and his stooges, is what I believe. So I'll tell you the scheme of events and how it has happened for the viewers across the country to understand how DMK is now trying to attack a pillar of the democracy, the judiciary, and arm twist it, blackmail it. So much so that no judge worth his merit, when he writes the judgment, has something against the DMK, he would think twice. Because if we write a judgment which is antagonizing the DMK and their coterie, we might be under an attack which GRS is going through. So they want to set a trend here, which is a very evil trend, but they want to set a trend here. So I'll tell you what really happened in this entire issue. We all know that Justice GRSwaminathan is one of the Madras High Court justices. He sits in the Madurai bench. So one day when he was going through his routine, so he sees the name Vanchinathan, and suddenly something strikes up, and he summons this particular advocate Vanchinathan to come to his open courtroom. It is not even in the chambers. He asks him to come to the courtroom, and he puts out a simple question. The question was, do you think, since it's a bench, there are two judges, do you think one of us is biased and has an inherent caste base in our judgments, in the discharge of my judicial duties? The question was very pointed. Do you think I have a caste bias when I discharge my judicial duties? So you could have said yes, or you could have said no, right? It is a very straightforward question. You could have said yes or no. But instead, this person, Mr. Vanchinathan, who has been maligning constantly Justice GRSwaminathan, comes out with a statement. He says, you give it to me in written. You give this statement to me in written, I will answer the question. So Justice GRSwaminathan says, okay, I'll give it to you in written. An order was passed, an order saying that, do you still believe this? You have to answer this on Monday, which is like, this happens on Friday, and he gives him 2-day interval, and you can come here at 1:15, the same question will be posed to you, you give the written answers. But what happens next is the most interesting thing. He goes out, he spreads so much of slander against the judge, brings in the caste bias, gives interviews to a lot of YouTube channels, and then activates the ecosystem. Okay, so there are two things that had happened here. One is in a number of YouTube channels, he had leveled such allegations against Justice GRSwaminathan, talking left, right, center about him, about a sitting judge of the Madras High Court, and he thinks he is above law, Justice Advocate Vanchinathan. And in another separate instance, in WhatsApp groups of Madurai advocates, one letter starts making rounds. This letter is addressed to the Chief Justice of India, where a 14-point allegation has been leveled against Justice GRSwaminathan by this very same person, Vanchinathan. So he thought that Justice GRSwaminathan had called him there based on this letter which is circulating in the WhatsApp groups. But the truth is completely different. He was summoned there because in public he has been scandalizing the bench. He has been scandalizing the judiciary, of which Justice GRSwaminathan is a part. And hence he wanted to ask a question. But in this 2 days, in this weekend, he had been going around activating the entire ecosystem, saying that contempt proceedings have been initiated against me. No contempt proceedings have been initiated against this person until now. No contempt proceedings have been initiated. And also you should understand that the entire ecosystem, which includes the Communist Party of India, for whatever it is worth, they have come out with statements of condemnation against Justice GRSwaminathan. Okay, they don't even know what has happened in the courtroom. All right, there is no contempt proceedings that is initiated. And there is a journalist, Mr. Arvind Gunasekaran. He is supposed to be a journalist who is left-leaning, who is leaning towards the DMK. So he puts out a tweet saying that nobody can be a judge in their own case. Do you think a sitting High Court judge of the Madras is not aware of principles of natural justice? Nowhere contempt has been initiated. Nowhere he is the judge, jury in his own case. A simple question was posted to this person asking, are you still with the opinion that I carry an inherent caste bias in my judgment? So in this 14-point thing, it's very interesting. He says, Justice GRSwaminathan has given his time. He has heard one particular advocate who happens to be a Brahmin 14 times in the duration between April and June 2022. So the man heard 4,000 cases, out of which 14 cases, you come out with a percentage of this. In fact, Justice GRSwaminathan is one of the most liberal judges. Sometimes even, it draws negative reactions from people within the RSS. He says he's very liberal. For example, when Vanchinathan was arrested, he gave bail. The very same advocate was arrested. Justice GRSwaminathan was the one who gave bail. So there is another book called Madhur Bagan. This book, talks about certain cultural aspects. Allegedly talks about certain cultural aspects of a particular people in Tiruchengoor town. Became a huge issue. Who was the counsel for the writer Perumal Murugan? It was Mr. GRSwaminathan, one of the most liberal persons. Savuka Shankar, who had spoken so much against GRSwaminathan. Finally, when Gundas came up and habeas corpus petition came up, it was GRSwaminathan who ensured that the liberty of justice, who ensured that liberty of Savuka Shankar is not taken by the state. So these people all have come up because there are two things. One, they want to prove a point that, listen, if you are delivering judgments based on merit, and if it is not in our interest, we will come after you, we will slander you, we will mudsling you. And all this has an interesting history, which also people should know. What happened? In one of these 14 points, the second point is such that he says, listen, Justice GRSwaminathan has annulled a judgment which was, given by Supreme Court. How can he do that? Can anybody do that? Anybody in the right mind do that? So what actually happened is, you must be aware that the Supreme Court had actually said that the governor does not possess the power to indefinitely keep their bills pending. He has to pass it on, with a reasonable time limit. So it was considered, okay, we are passing all the bills, so whatever was kept in abeyance by the governor has been passed. But if the bills which have been passed and become an act are ultra-vires to the spirit of the constitution, then again the appeal lies in the High Court. So somebody had gone to the High Court, and in the matter of appointing the vice chancellors, okay, in the matter of appointing vice chancellors, CM should be given the power, is what the Tamil Nadu government had brought in the bill. But in reality, this cannot be done. This is against the spirit of the very act. University Grants Commission does not approve of it. The fund is coming from there, so it has to be done by the governor. So this is against the constitution. Hence, they stayed the proceedings. Where is overruling the Supreme Court coming into being here? So such, such scheming of things have been done by them. So in this particular case, the argument was done by P. Wilson. So despite P. Wilson appearing, despite the member of parliament appearing, you have given a adverse judgment, we will take care of you. That is the tone and tenor of the entire scheme of things. Okay, so they want to arm twist a judge like this and come up with this. The most worrying part in this, Swamiji, it's not the fact that some bunch of advocates, left-leaning loonies, coming against a sitting judge. That is not the important part here. The most important part here is some ex-judges. Now, the point I'm coming to is very serious, and I hope you also would appreciate the seriousness behind it. The point I'm coming to is some ex-judges. I'll show you the names of these ex-judges. Some 6 ex-judges: Justice Chandru, Justice C.T. Selvam, Justice Ari Parandaman, Vimala, and so on, have actually written a letter. It's not written by all the judges. One Mr. Justice Chandru, you know how big a DMK stooge he is, and how post his retirement, all his, the postings have been given to him in heading certain committees and all. So this person comes out, he says, listen, for paucity of time, everybody has given me the right to, condemn such an act of Justice GRSwaminathan. But here's the important thing. After that, one judge's name is mentioned. It's Justice K.K. Sasidharan. He comes out with a rebuttal. He comes out with a written statement saying, my attention has been drawn to a letter dated 26 July 2025 circulated in social media under the signature of Justice K. Chandru, former Judge High Court, Madras, pertaining to an issue on behalf of 7 other judges of the Madras High Court, including myself. The letter states that a written confirmation has been sent by all judges to Mr. K. Chandru. Let me make it clear, I was not consulted, nor have I sent any such written confirmation authorizing Justice K. Chandru to issue the said letter. I therefore dissociate myself from the contents of the said letter. You know how serious a crime this is? This is nothing but forgery and impersonation. You're a former judge, and you've forged somebody else's approval, consent, and you've assumed his own consent and signed it and sent it out to the public. How big a forgery is this? Isn't this against the conduct rules of the advocate? This particular person, Chandru, has his, when you become a judge, you send a letter to the bar saying that you can suspend my license because I'm not going to practice, I'm going to sit and adjudicate the matter, I'm a judge. But he has not relinquished his license. So I demand that this fellow's license should be suspended because he's done forgery. Isn't this impersonation and forgery? You've taken the name of an ex-judge and gone on to make serious allegations about a brother judge. He was your brother judge, right? Justice GRS was your brother judge. You might have difference of opinion with that, but you can't do this in public. Such a serious offense. So he has to be suspended from the bar is one of my main demands. Second thing, and I am astonished to a great deal, not knowing why our Honorable Chief Justice of Madras High Court has not initiated contempt proceedings against this guy. So you
who's the new Chief Justice? Who's the new Chief Justice?
A new Chief Justice has come in, so maybe it's time for him to settle and understand the matters. And I'm given to understand that this particular advocate, Mr. Vanchinathan, had approached through some of his counsels to mention the matter, and he didn't take it up, and he asked them to sort to remedies which is available to them. But the matter of the fact is, I am really surprised as to how such a behavior can be tolerated. I'll also tell you that there are judicial precedents to that. See, Markandeya Kadju had actually come out with some statements in a rape and murder case. I think it's a rape and murder case or a rape case, if my memory serves me right. It is then Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi. He had initiated contempt proceedings against ex-judge Markandeya Kadju for interfering into the judicial scheme of things and impeding the process of delivery of justice. Because when, as I told you, people should not have a doubt in this entire thing. So by doing this, you are actually impeding the process of delivery of justice. So we issue contempt. In fact, later on he goes on to say that had he expressed a little bit of regret, we would have held back. We wouldn't have pushed further and all. So there is precedent. You're an ex-judge. You're better off sitting there and taking care of other business. You can't interfere into the process of justice. You can't blame or slander or support the slander of another judge. It's a grave injustice. You can't do this. So these people must be taught a lesson, and contempt should be initiated against them. I'll send my representations to the Honorable Chief Justice of the Madras High Court and see what can be done in this regard. Both the regards, I'll take measures here. But you know what the irony here is, Shreyas sir? This person, this Chandru, who at the drop of the hat comes in support of a judge, comes in support of this advocate who is against a judge he dislikes. All right. He has been very silent when it's to custodial murder, custodial death of Ajit Kumar. Recently, you must have heard that a person was brutally beaten and killed by the Tamil Nadu. And you know, have you seen this movie Jai Bhim? So they glorify Chandru, saying that he's the So basically, they say that this movie is based on Justice Chandru's approach to justice. He cannot tolerate somebody, some woman, going through this pain. Her husband was beaten to death by police, and it was Chandru who got justice for them. Where is the justice now? Why are you nude spectator for such a big scam by the police? It's custodial death. It's murder. What have you voiced? Have you voiced your views in such a case? You've been mute all this day, and the drop of a hat, you guys scheme things and come against a justice like Justice GRSwaminathan. This is atrocious. So I wanted people to know about the true colors of these people. These people, Vanchinathan was suspended from the bar. So he was suspended from the bar for unruly behavior. Then they, of course, go appeal, and the liberal nature of our justice delivery system, they get back reinstated. But this kind of a blackmail and arm twisting will not work in judiciary. They want to take control of judiciary. So everybody who wants to pen a judgment will have to think once, oh, what will DMK and their goons do? That kind of a mental psychic state is what they want to push these judges into. So I humbly request everybody here who is watching the show and other legal luminaries to take stock of situation here in Tamil Nadu.
One interesting thing that is also happening, viewers, don't take this thing in isolation. There is a concerted attempt to slur one community from which many judges have come, and they are known for being fair in giving their judgments. And I'll tell you an instance, an anecdote of a very senior DMK leader who's currently in politics, active politics, and he happens to be connected with the family also. I won't name the scoundrel because in my book he is that, has mentioned in a private conversation that, oh, I'm going to win this case because I'm right, and that it is in front of a Brahmin judge, and he is unbiased and he cannot be bought. His words, end quote.
Oh.
See, these are rascals and scoundrels. Okay.
Also, Swami, you should not look at it in an isolated manner. Have you? Do you remember the statements of R.S. Bharati, who is a DMK leader?
Yeah.
Verbatim in Tamil, to quote him, he said, "Timuka போட்ட பிச்சையில தான் இங்க நிறைய பேர் நீதிபதியா இருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு," which simply means that we've thrown arms, and because of that many judges have become judges in Madras High Court. Okay, such kind of statements. So their very ideology and idea is to send in people of their ideology and try to control the judiciary. It is okay to be having a political color, but when you sit on that bench, you've got to be neutral. But with this kind of a control, they want to take stock of situations there. They want to control what judgments are being made, what kind of what kind of people are coming to which benches. All these things they want to take control. That is why they are trying the carrot and stick policy. So with some people, carrot works. With some people, money works, gold works. But with straightforward people, all this doesn't work. So they blackmail you. Say, like, listen, we will put you in trouble. This is what is happening here. And of course, his caste basis is the biggest problem here, Swami.
Karthik, I'll tell you another thing that has happened. I mean, this may have emboldened this. Let's put 4-letter words to do what they are doing. The outgoing Chief Justice of Tamil Nadu, Sri K.R. Sriram, okay, he has only 2.5 months or something, very, very close to, few months left before he retires. And he has been transferred out of Madras High Court. And he's now the Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court. So somewhere, somebody has moved some pieces to somehow initiate this move. Because, I'll tell you another reason why I think this is, I'm connecting the dots, because I'm not privy to what happens inside. I'm connecting the dots. Justice K.R. Sriram was giving some judgments where he was essentially upholding dharma. I will not go into details. Viewers, those of you who are interested, this is a serious matter that somebody has so much clout that they can convince the Home Ministry to move somebody who has only 2.5 months left in his tenure to a different court as a Chief Justice. And
Here I
incidentally,
would disagree,
Yeah.
Swami, because a lot of transfers could be due to administrative concerns, but for whatever inference you make might be from based on different premises that is available to you. Such is not available.
I'm connecting the dots. I understand. I'm connecting the dots. You can agree with me, disagree with me, that's fine. See, the point I'm trying to say is these guys have gotten emboldened that they can take pot shots at a certain community and get away with it. Okay, at least somebody has to speak up for that community. Let it be me.
True.
Yeah.
True, Swami.
So the thing here is the debasement of judiciary has not. This is not new. This is gone for a long time. I have another relative of mine who, when Karunanidhi, the then Chief Minister, and Veerasamy was the Chief Justice, when he was signing the appointment order of the said judge, who happened to be a Brahmin, his hands were shaking. So you know what he said in Tamil? I'll first quote it and then I'll translate it. ஒரு பார்ப்பனரின் அப்பாயின்மெண்ட் ஆர்டர் கையெழுத்து போடுவதால் தான் என்னமோ தெரியவில்லை என் கை நடுங்குகிறது. That means I don't know if it is that I'm signing the appointment order of a Brahmin judge, my hand is shaking. Why I say this thing is these people have weaponized. They have weaponized in this way to try and stay in power. And somebody has to call out this nonsense. That's why I'm saying all these things. But we'll wait and see what happens. Well, tell us what happens now. Cut to the chase now. So after he failed to appear, what happens after that?
No, he does appear. He does appear on Monday, and then Justice GRSwaminathan, he shows the video saying that, listen, this is what you had said about me, and the other person, the person who was summoned, Advocate Vanchinathan, he refuses to listen to it. Says he keeps mumbling. It's written in the order. So if you can actually, I'll send you the order. He keeps mumbling. He doesn't listen to the video. See, if you are a brave person, see, listen, you call yourself a communist, a revolutionary, a person who fights for the cause of the downtrodden, for the righteous cause, and so on and so forth. What is your problem in saying yes or no? Answer in affirmative or negative to a question that is posed to you. You say, for example, I'm a revolutionary or a communist, an advocate who fights for the poor, the downtrodden, and so on and so forth. When a question is posed to me saying that this is what you believe or not, I would say yes or no. Why would I keep asking in writing? Because he wants to go scheme with his fellow people, sit with his coterie and decide how this can be further, taken to the media and how you can further slander Justice GRSwaminathan. So again, he does the same thing. And then finally, the bench decides that this matter will be posted to the CJ and CJ will take appropriate action. Okay, so whether a contempt is being initiated or not will be decided by Honorable Chief Justice of Madras High Court. So this is where things are right now. And it looks very feasible that action might be taken against such people, but I don't want to, jump the gun.
Yeah, we are not lawyers. I mean, you are, but I'm. It's only our considered opinion. It's our considered opinion. That's all.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. So we'll wait for things to unfold, and then we'll once again sit down over this and discuss about what can be done. And in the meanwhile, as I told you, I will probably send my representations about Justice Chandru and his act of forgery and impersonation, where a judge clearly denies that he is not involved in any of this. Also his revoking of his license. So these are the things that I would be probably pursuing.
Thank you so much, Karthik, and we'll be watching this thing with great interest, and let's see how this thing plays out. Certainly in my book, this is vendetta, and this is deliberate attempt to try and malign a judge, his character, and we'll see how it goes. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you so much. Namaskar.